Hi, everyone. Welcome to Her Voice in Healthcare, a series within Breaking the Silence podcast produced by Angels Protection, Inc. Here we honor the women who shaped the future of medicine, nursing, leadership, and care. These are the women whose hands heal, whose voices lead, and whose journeys illuminate the path for generations to come. I'm your host, Makaila Davis, founder and chairwoman of Angels Protection, Inc., and also host of this podcast, Breaking the Silence. In this series, we highlight exceptional women in healthcare whose dedication, resilience, and brilliance have transformed patient care, strengthened communities, and uplifted the next generation of nurses and clinicians. These women are not just practitioners, they're educators, mentors, advocates, and system shapers. Today's featured guest embodies all of that and more. Dr. Trina M. Turner, DNP and RN, is an accomplished nursing professional with over 32 years of experience as a registered nurse. Her career spans over multiple clinical specialties, educational leadership, and community engagement, all grounded in a deep commitment to excellence in patient care and lifelong learning. Dr. Turner earned her BSN in 2014 and MSN in 2016 from Wilmington University, followed by her Doctor of Nursing Practice and Nursing Leadership with a minor in Educational Leadership from Chamberlain University in 2023. Her academic journey reflects a remarkable dedication to advancing nursing practice, mentoring future healthcare leaders, and improving outcomes across diverse populations. Beyond her clinical and academic expertise, Dr. Turner is a highly active and celebrated member of multiple professional and community based organizations. She's a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated and serves as the Dean of Membership for the Tau Eta chapter of Chi Eta Phi Sorority Incorporated, where she supports professional development and sisterhood among nurses. So I just want to say, before I even continue, she is doing the work. Dr. Turner, she leads community health initiatives as the Health and Human Services Facet Chair of the Dover, Delaware chapter of the Links Incorporated, championing initiatives that support families, wellness, and health education. Her advocacy extends through memberships in the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, Delaware chapter. And also, I want to acknowledge she's a charter membership in both the Southern Newcastle County, Delaware chapter of the National Council of Negro Women and Newcastle County, Delaware chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction. Okay. She's also a charter member of the Crown Sisters of the Light, Chapter Number 2, Order of the Eastern Star, where she proudly serves as the newly elected worthy matron, a role that highlights her leadership, compassion, and dedication to service. With decades of lived experience and a passion for mentorship and lifelong commitment to uplifting her community, Dr. Turner continues to make a profound impact in healthcare, education, and the lives of those that she serves. So I just want to welcome you to Breaking the Silence podcast.
Oh, thank you. And I just want to know who you're talking about. Who's that girl? Or who that woman?
Yeah, that's right. She is here. The amazing woman that I see every day doing the work every single
Oh, thank
day.
you. Thank you.
Um,
I'm still trying to figure out who she is, though. Seriously.
she is you. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll
You're
take
loving
that. I'll
it.
take that.
So I kind of just want to also like to start it off to ask you what first inspired your journey into nursing and how did you know that healthcare was your calling?
So I started in nursing because my mom was a nurse. She was a nurse for 42 years and she was an LPN. And I started off when I was 16 as a candy striper at Crozier, going and working on the floors, on her floor actually. And I got to see her taking care of patients, um, and just, being there for them at the times when they were low in their life and they needed someone to take care of them. And that just kind of gave me the spark to really want to go and help others. I've always been that person that wanted to help people. So I started off as an LPN, and then I went on and gradually became an RN. I was a teen mom, so it took me a while to get where I wanted to go, but I was able to get there. And I feel like nursing is not really my a career; it's my calling. I love what I do. I love helping people. So it's just something that it just seems like second nature for me.
No, definitely. And I think growing up seeing your mom be a nurse, that definitely played a vital role in that pathway. And
Absolutely.
okay, I seen her do this and I can
Hmm.
continue and go further.
Hmm.
Um,
And that's what she told me too, because she didn't want me to be a nurse. She wanted me to go into computers because she had the foresight to know that technology was going to be where the money is, honestly. So, but she was like, if you're going to go to school and if you're going to become a nurse, then you're going to go all the way. She's like, you're not going to stop. You're going to go all the way. Because she was an LPN. There's nothing wrong with being an LPN. I love LPNs. I was an LPN for a long time. But she said, if you're going to do this, then I want you to go all the way up. So I did it for her. I did it for her. So,
and you did.
yep.
Yes, you did. And I think that's the blessing within itself too.
Yeah.
Her pushing you. She said, I did this, but I see greater for you.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
and actually
Coordinated
seeing
me.
that through.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, So like also too, like your career, it spans more than 3 decades across multiple specialties. So
Yeah.
how's working in like many different clinical environments shaped your perspective on patient care?
I've been able to be a bedside nurse and take care of my patients at the bedside. So I was there for them in some of the most critical stages that you could be there for a person when they are sick. Car accident. I worked in trauma, so a lot of car accidents, a lot of broken bones, a lot of surgical patients. I took care of oncology patients. That really hit home for me, and I think oncology is kind of like my first love. I really loved being with my patients. And before I went into oncology, I was in diagnostic imaging. So I was the procedural nurse that would be with the patient when they were getting their biopsies, when they were getting their tests to find out whether or not they were positive for cancer or not. So when I left that area, I went directly into the Cancer Institute. And it was kind of like a full circle moment for me because a lot of my patients that I was there with when they were getting their procedures done, I was there helping when they were going through their cancer treatment. So that was something that I really felt like it was really rewarding for me. And then with education and leadership, it's just been, I love mentoring, I love giving back. So the rewarding part of my job now is that I get to mentor and support and help nurses that are, on my floor, that are nurses that I teach, nurses that I just know that are coming up behind me. I'm kind of reaching back and helping them and kind of trying to give them the information and the experience that I had growing up. I was, blessed to be able to have some really good people around me. So I just want to make sure that I'm that person that's giving back to others.
And I think that's the beautiful part too, when you've been blessed with so much,
Mhm.
um, and like so many resources along the way, being able to like pass that baton and having, to see like more nurses come up and, making sure like they're continuing, their educational journey as well and not stopping and
Absolutely.
having a great mentor like yourself.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, especially like on the floor too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Even though I am assistant nurse manager, I'm still that nurse manager that gets out there and I help. I answer call bells. I take patients to the bathroom. I do, I'm everything that needs to get done for a patient. I'm a nurse first. I may be a manager, but I'm a nurse. So I am going to care for that patient and then along with every other managerial duty I may have. But first and foremost, it's all about patient care and it's all about taking care of the patients that are there and also helping my staff too.
And I think like that's that like part of like still always like doing the work, no matter if you move up in a leadership role, still being
Hmm.
able to help your staff, help those patients and what the care that they need.
Yep.
And then like your staff that's under you will follow suit of that.
Hmm. I
Um,
hope so. Yeah.
yeah. No, I could definitely see that.
Oh, thank you.
No, seriously, and I think that's like the beauty of it, especially within healthcare, because we want to make sure like we have compassionate folks on the floor taking care of our loved ones, because we're not here
Absolutely.
24/7.
And that's what I try to tell my staff and also my nursing students. Just remember that that patient in the bed could be your loved one or it could be you. So, you need to be compassionate and empathetic and take care of that patient the way you would want someone to take care of your mother, your brother, your dad, your child, yourself if you were laying in that bed. So I just try to make sure that I always remember that and make sure that I'm letting my younger nurses and nurses that I'm mentoring know, always, try to treat that patient and take care of that patient like it was one of your own.
And I think that's like really the beauty of it too, like them like hearing that come from you and like all of your years of experience.
Mhm.
Um, so like also too, like your academic journey from BSN to MSN to DNP,
Mm.
it demonstrates like incredible dedication to learning. And so what pushed you to pursue advanced nursing leadership and educational leadership at the same time?
Um, I started off when I went back to school to get my doctorate degree. I was at that time teaching adjunct at Delaware State University, my HBCU. Whoop whoop. So I loved it. I kind of like just kind of fell into it. One of my girlfriends that was working at DSU kind of reached out to me and she was like, you have your master's degree. We need some teachers. We need someone who cares about the students. And would you be willing to kind of like just take a part-time position? So I did, and I fell in love with it. I went and got my certification in nurse educator, and that's when I decided I was going to go back and get my doctorate. And when I did, I said I wanted to make sure that it had some type of educational fundamentals into it. So I was like, I know I was going to do nursing leadership because I wanted to advance and get back into nursing leadership on like a manager or director level. However, I still wanted to keep my foot rooted in education. So that's why I did the concentration of minor in educational leadership, because I love teaching. I love giving back. And it's something about that moment when you see your students catch on and that light goes on and they're understanding what you're trying to tell them. And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it now. So it's not, I love that. So that's why I said, you know what, I'm going to try to combine my love of leadership with education. And Chamberlain just was able to give me the perfect track that I needed.
No, I love that. And I think that's like great too. Like your school was able to fit in what you needed for your lifestyle. And then also like fitting in that educational component because you knew like you wanted to teach others.
Yep.
Um, so I think that's like huge. So like also too, you've led across like clinical, academic, and organizational settings. So how do you feel like you could define nursing leadership today? And what does excellence look like in modern nursing practice?
Nursing leadership today is challenging. It's very challenging because, I hate to say that I'm a seasoned nurse, but I guess after 30 years, I guess I would be considered a seasoned nurse. And, it's funny when nurses that have been a nurse for 20, 25, 30 years, we all kind of say the same things. Before, when we first started, not that your focus ever leaves about the patient, but it kind of feels like your focus is more on deliverables, metrics, meeting goals and standards. And that's good, but it's hard to balance sometimes because I want to be the one that's out there helping and hands-on and doing stuff, but I know that as a leader, there are things I need to do for the organization to make sure that we're meeting our standards and our metrics. So I feel like it's a little bit different leadership now today than it used to be because I felt like more hands-on was years ago when I first got started. It wasn't as much, definitely it wasn't technology. We were still charting on papers when I first started. So now that we have grown and technology has grown and now everything is evidence-based, we're trying to make sure that we're meeting the deliverables that we need to. We're trying to make sure that we are meeting our metrics so we can make sure that our patients are getting what they need. And so it's just a little different. It's more focused on making sure that the outcomes are better, which it should have always been, but I just feel like now more than ever, especially after COVID, it's been really about making sure that we're, improving patient outcomes, which is a good thing, but it sometimes can be hard to balance when you are a nurse that likes leadership, but also likes to get her hands in and take care of her patients too. It can be challenging at times.
But like what I'm hearing is like a lot of balancing the two
Mm-hmm.
at the same time. Um, yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
And like to like also tying that to that too, like you hold multiple certifications that reflect mastery and commitment.
Mm-hmm.
So, like why is continuing education so essential in nursing and healthcare?
Because we're always evolving. Everything is always changing. So it's so important to stay, abreast to what's going on. You can't, things that I do now, I didn't do 30 years ago. And the things that we used to do a long time ago are obsolete now. So it's so important to stay abreast of what's going on. I'm going to be a perpetual student probably, even though I'm done my doctorate degree, I've gotten the highest degree that you can in nursing. I still am looking at other certifications to do. And I love going to conferences and learning and just staying up on technology because technology changes every day. Stuff that we were doing last year, has now evolved and we're doing different now. So it's just so important to continue with your education and just make sure that you are equipped to help provide those outcomes and help take care of your patients in the best way possible. And so the only way to do that is just staying in, I don't want to say stay in school, but definitely stay learning, take the conferences, do the educational workshops, earn the certifications. They give you a really wide breadth of learning. So, It's nothing wrong with being a bedside nurse, but also if you're in a specialty, if you love mother baby, get that certification. If you love teaching, get that certification because it allows you to be the best nurse and the best educator and the best advocate that you can be, as long as you keep, growing and learning and pushing yourself to learn more and to also want to be more too.
Yeah, and I think that's like really important to like just being a lifelong learner,
Mm-hmm.
um, especially if one's aspiration is to be a leader within nursing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to just keep going. Like, not saying that you have to get a whole bunch of more degrees, but getting more certifications,
Right.
getting
Right.
conferences, maybe like fellowship programs, different
Mm-hmm.
accelerators to network with other folks and like figure out what's going on in the field. Because like you said, like healthcare is like growing tremendously every
Mm-hmm.
single day. Healthcare in all different aspects, like medicine, pharmaceuticals, nursing, public health is all intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like just really like staying connected, that is so important because then you'll be better for your patients.
Absolutely, absolutely. When I was in oncology, I was a nurse navigator. So what I did was it was kind of like tying everything together. So you had your patient that had this new diagnosis, and you were making sure that they had every clinical resource that they needed, every community resource that they needed. If they needed to, I was the one that was making the doctor's appointments. I was the one that making sure they followed up on their procedures if they had to get it done. Making sure they had referrals. We would make sure that if they needed resources for food, for transportation, for, to pay bills in their house to make sure that they could pay for the medication that they needed for their treatment. So it was really, truly a holistic environment that I worked in when I was working as a nurse navigator. So it's very important. It all medicine and community and public health, it's all tied in together. It's all about, trying to make sure your patient has a holistic um, making sure you're treating your patient holistically, looking at every avenue, not just the issue of what's going on with them, but also looking at their environment because their environment plays a big role. Because patient has diabetes or high blood pressure, but if they can't afford to buy their medications, or if they can't afford to eat healthy, then you're not serving your patient in the right way. You've got to look at the whole picture. So yeah, it's very important. Very.
No, I love that you touched on that, like looking at like, okay, can they afford their medication?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yep.
And not just prescribing them something that you know that they cannot afford and seeing, are there any solutions that we can work out or resources to figure that out so you can get your medication because you need it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Um, So like that kind of goes into the community portion. Um,
Okay.
so you're a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Yes, ma'am.
Initially drew you to the sisterhood, and how has Zeta influenced your personal and professional journey?
What drew me to sisterhood was that I was the only child. I had a stepsister and a stepbrother, but I was the only child of my mother and my father. So kind of lonely growing up as the only child. I had girlfriends and stuff, but I think the sisterhood drew me to Zeta. And then once I got there, it's the service and it's definitely a scholarship. I've been a person that I love learning, I love education, and being able to give back to my community has been huge for me because it took a village. It took a village for me to get here. Like I said, I was a single parent, so single mom at 17. So it took a lot for me to get where I'm at now, and it was my mother. It was the village that was around me. It was the people that poured into me and helped me. So being a member of Zeta allows me to give back. It allows me to serve. It allows me to show the importance of education, of sisterhood, definitely. And being able to carry myself in a certain way that not that I think I'm better than anybody, but I hold myself above approach. I make sure that I'm doing what I need to do, and I have a very high moral compass which leads into our final womanhood. So all of those principles tie me into Zeta. They make me who I am because I feel like I am Zeta. I am one of those women that all four of those principles I live every single day. So that's why I became Zeta, and it actually has helped me. It helped me grow and it helped me learn. It helped me come out of the box because I used to be very shy and quiet. And now I have a little bit more confidence in myself. And it really, that was, I would say it was, they were very instrumental in getting me to kind of come out of my shell a little bit.
No, and I think that's the beauty of like the sisterhood too.
Mhm.
Um, and you being able to get outside the box and like just flourish and them kind of like nurture you along the way and having that support.
It's been
Um,
great.
so I also want to like ask too, like, um, how's being a part of a historically Black sorority enhance your perspective on mentoring young women and fostering leadership within the community?
It's very important that you are seen. Representation is very important. So if you don't see it, you don't know you can be it.
Mm,
And for me, growing up, I would see Black nurses, but I didn't see them in a way that I could have saw them now. Like now, I mean, we have every shape, size, color, every denomination of nurses. But when I was growing up, I really didn't see as many Black nurses as I thought I, should have saw. And so now, being a member of Zeta and being a member of these other organizations, it allows me to let someone see that, yeah, I'm a Zeta and I'm a nurse and I have my doctorate in nursing. And we have Zetas who are social workers. We have Zetas who are doctors, who are educators, who are, it's just so important. Representation is so important. And being a part of an historically Black sorority allows us to be seen and allows the younger ones to see that, yeah, I'm a member of this sorority, but this is also what I do. And you can be this, you can do what you want, whatever you put your mind to. So I just kind of feel like that's been very instrumental. I just feel like representation is very important. So I love being a part of Zeta, and I love being able to show people that yes, I'm a Zeta, but I'm also a nurse, and I'm also this, and I'm also that, and you can do it too. If they don't see us, and if they don't see what's available and what they can achieve, then they're not going to try. So that's why I love being a Zeta.
no, I love that. And like that representation,
It's so important.
like through the sisterhood,
hmm
but also like through those other things that you're doing too,
Yes.
and being able to like live and like flourish within that.
Thank you.
So like also too, like what does the future of service and leadership look like within Zeta, especially for nurses and women in healthcare?
Well, we have all different types of avenues, and we have all different types of learning that they provide us in Zeta, all types of leadership functions. I just went through a Pearls Institute where we learned about leadership and we learned about our leadership style and our personality, and it helps you to be able to interact with others. It teaches you how to kind of think out the box and kind of get out of your own way and learning like I may be a red and you may be a color yellow, and how I learn and interact with people is totally different than how you learn and interact with people. So that leadership class that we just took actually opened my eyes to how I deal with people. And it taught me to be able to say, okay, so this person is this, and I need to deal with them in this way. Maybe not in the way I normally would deal with someone, but it just allowed me to be able to pick up on the different personalities that I interact with every day. After taking that leadership course, it was really cool because I went back to work and I started, looking at people and I'm like, okay, so you're a yellow or you're a green. So this is why you act the way you do. Okay, so I can't talk to you in the way I normally would. I have to change how I not change how I address people, but change how I interact with people because not everybody's going to move in the same way I move. I'm one of those people that I want to get going. Let's get it done. Okay. And then someone else may say, okay, well, let's look at the details. Let's slow down some. And then that may annoy me, or I may be like, okay, I want to get this done. So I've learned that, okay, I got to be able to interact with everybody, every person that I'm working with, every person that I'm on a team with. So it's been very helpful. All the leadership classes and opportunities that they gave us is really amazing, and it has really strengthened me as a nurse and as a person.
No, I think that's the beauty within it too, having like all those different resources to help
hmm
like, train you like from the moment that you got in and even throughout now, like all of your years of
Absolutely.
service, up until this
And they
point.
allow you to become a leader. It helps you to grow and take leadership positions within the sorority that will spill over into your regular life.
And I think like that's the beauty of it. And like I was kind of like saying before too, like you being a Zeta, but also all these other facets in your life that like works through it. And people being able to see that, I think is really beautiful. Um, so like also too, another amazing organization that you are a part of, the Links Incorporated. So as
Yeah.
the Health and Human Services Facet Chair for the
Uh,
Dover, Delaware chapter of the Links Incorporated, what does
yeah.
your role entail and what impact are you striving to make?
So my role is to help our so the Health and Human Services Facet Chair. I am over making sure that we are making an impact in educating our community about different aspects of health, whether it would be breast cancer, whether it is heart health, whether it is oral health, anything that impacts our people, we strive to make an impact on and educate. And also we pour into the younger. This year actually we adopted the Delaware Adolescent Program, which is DAPI. And that's kind of near and dear to my heart because those mothers are teen mothers that are in school and want to continue on with their education. So with me being a single mom, that was kind of I kind of felt like that this was something that as the Health and Human Services Facet Chair, we can do to impact. So we're all about impact. We're all about making sure that we are educating and promoting, and we're making sure that they, number one, get the resources that they need. But we're also letting them know, making sure that you have a civic duty, making sure you understand about voter rights, making sure you understand about the arts and also international trends and services, what's going on in the world. So besides just giving them health resources and teaching them about different things, we're also exposing them to things that they might not have been able to be exposed to before. Kind of like giving them a really well-rounded worldly exposure to the arts, to, like I said, different things, just different things that we do for them. And so I'm kind of happy that we adopted Daffy this year. And I've been there for 3 years now, and I've been the Health and Human Services Chair for 2. So this year, kind of like we were able to kind of drive that to like maternal health, and because that's actually what our national focus is this year, maternal health. So kind of Daffy just kind of fell right into line to what we wanted to do. So it's been really rewarding for me. It's hard. It's a lot of work, but it's been really rewarding.
No, and I think that's like the beauty of it, being able to like be in that chair position and be that driving force,
Mhm.
and ensure like those projects and programs are being see through for the community, especially surrounding maternal health.
Mhm.
Because like that's like one of our main focuses here at the nonprofit with Angels Protection is addressing maternal health and mortality, within our young women between ages 13
Absolutely.
to 20. Um, so like I just love like the way that the Links Incorporated in general on a national level, but also locally in Delaware,
Mhm.
is focusing on that and ensuring that's being driven within the community.
Absolutely.
So the Links is also known for its commitment to friendship and service.
Yes, we are.
How have these values aligned with your work in nursing and community health?
It's been actually being able to meld or join two things that I love the most, community service and nursing. So we are actually putting on every year, the Lakes Incorporated has something called the Black Family Wellness Expo. And that expo, almost every chapter in the Links Incorporated puts on a wellness program. And we look at mind, body, and soul. We look at health. We look at mental health. We are looking at nutrition. We look at financial wellness. We look at estate planning. So basically, you're touching every span of life from the kids all the way up to the seniors. And so every year we get to do this. So this year we're doing it in partnership. Last year and this year we're doing it in partnership with our Wilmington chapter of the Links Incorporated, our sister chapter. So I get to be able to pour what I love, which is nursing, into community service. So I'm able to reach out to my people that do lung screenings, colorectal screenings, mental wellness, therapy, all that. I get to put that all into this wellness program every single year. And it's really been eye-opening and it's really very, very rewarding for me. So I'm able to have both the best of both worlds.
No, I love that. And then also like your guys' like commitment to friendship and
Yeah.
service, I think
hmm
is really powerful. And having that as you guys are doing the work for the community,
hmm
it is like really critical.
Because we try to make sure that people understand, you got to be friends.
Mm.
Friend, if you're a friend and you're helping someone, you're doing it because you want to. So friendship should be the basis of every good relationship, every community outreach. Friendship should be right there because if you didn't, to be my friend, that means you want to help me.
Mm.
Why would you not want to be my friend and not help me? So friendship is so important, and that was one of the things that attracted me to the links too was because of their friendship component because that is one of our main things that we focus on is friendship.
No, and I love that. And like I guess also too, um, can you share a meaningful project or service initiative that reminded you of why this work is so important?
That I did within the links.
Yes, within the links.
Definitely, the Black family maternal health. I mean, Black family wellness. That one has been last year. We really felt like we did some really good work with them. This year, besides the Black Family Wellness Expo, DAPI, being able to pour into these mothers and they see women that look like them and that they have achieved different things and a lot of them know that we are mothers, that we're young mothers too. And being able to tell them our story and for them to see that, okay, she was a young mom too, and she's been able to achieve a lot of things and that, not to give up. So that's what has been very important to me. DAPI it touches my soul. And then also the Black Family Wellness Expo, just being able to holistically serve the community. Those are my favorite two programs that I've done within the links.
And I love that, especially the expo. I think that's like really important for the community and kind of
Mhm.
just bringing everybody together from all ages, and making sure everybody gets that like support that they need with health.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I think as we're all just like ripping and running throughout the year, sometimes
hmm
we're not thinking about our own health. And that,
hmm
okay, I need to make this health appointment, or I know I need to make it, but I'm just going to push it to the side. So having
Exactly.
great organizations like the Links Incorporated, putting together this program for the community, is I feel like especially in this day and age is so important.
It is so needed. Definitely. Definitely.
So I think also too, I want to touch on another amazing organization that you are a part of,
Okay.
Chi Eta Phi Sorority.
Yes.
So a little bit to touch on this. So as Dean of Membership for the Chi Eta chapter of Chi Eta Phi Sorority Incorporated, what are your responsibilities that you hold in guiding and supporting new nurses entering the organization?
So I am the member intake chair. So I am responsible for bringing I will ask members, do they have recommendations of nurses or nursing students? So we also have nursing students at Delaware State University. Our chapter is not active right now, but we are going to get it back up and running pretty soon. So right now, if there's an RN that someone knows that would be a good member, they will refer them to me, and then we have an interest meeting. And then my job is to kind of bring them through our sorority, get them, teach them about a sorority, get them to do a fundraiser. They're going to do community service, and that is if we have a group to get them to work together. And we also do a lot of like education. The sisters get together and we work with them, when they're going through their process. And it's just, for me, I'm able to touch nurses that might have not known about Chi to Phi. Chi to Phi has been around for 93 years, and not a lot of people know that we are the only historically Black nursing sorority around. So I am very proud to be the Dean of Membership. I'm proud to be able to bring people in, nurses into Chi Edify. It's kind of like a full circle moment for me because again, it's being able to combine what I love. So I love being a nurse. I love mentoring, giving back, teaching. So as Dean of Membership, this is what I'm doing. I'm bringing them in. I'm teaching them about the sorority. I'm helping them give to the community. I'm helping them advocate, and then they get to become a member and wear their yellow and green and serve right along with us. So it's really great. I love being Dean of Membership. I was Dean of Membership for 5 years, and then I took off 1 year, and now I'm back Dean of Membership again. So
Because you're meant to be there.
I just happened to fall back into it again. So here I am.
No, I love that. And especially how it's just like a full circle moment for you.
It
So,
is.
when you were coming in, and then now being able to bring others in,
Yeah.
and
Because my dean that I had, because I've been in for 11 years, almost 12, yeah, 11 years. So my dean is like I call her my mama soror. She's like one of the sweetest persons you ever want to meet. And she's still in the sorority in our chapter. And her impact and her impression that she gave me when she was my dean and I was coming in and learning really impacted me and made me want to be a dean. So that's why, and I get to see her all the time. She's like my big sister.
I think like that's so beautiful, like being able to now help others come in
Hmm.
and be that support for them as they're going through that process, and like probably still juggling school,
Oh yeah.
and life and other things that are happening in the midst of that. Um,
Hmm.
so I think it's like so important, being in that membership role
Yes, I love it. I
and
love it. I
being
really
able to like curate like great leaders in the midst of that for the sorority, and push them to take on leadership roles if that's their desire.
do.
Um,
Exactly. Exactly. And encourage them to go to regionals and conferences and the educational offerings that Kai offers because they we offer a lot of educational offerings. We have conferences every year. We have a national conference every 2 years. We have a leadership conference. There's always some type of webinar and training that's going on. So you're always advancing your knowledge. And I love that about Kai. Really all my orgs that I'm a part of, but I love, Kai. Kai has a special place in my heart because I am a nurse. So,
yes. And that's
yep, a
you.
special place in my heart.
Um, so like also too, what does Chi Eta Phi's mission, service for humanity, mean to you as a nurse, educator, and leader?
Giving back to the community, taking care of the community. Service for humanity means that we are here to serve. You're a servant leader. You're here to take care of your patients. We're here to make sure that we are addressing them holistically, every facet that they may need. My president, when she came in 2 years ago, she had something called 5-star service for humanity. So that means that we were touching all areas, high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, cancer care, maternal health, mental health. So we try to make sure that we are not just focusing on one thing. We try to take a holistic view and we are helping our patients with every facet of their health and making sure that they're eating right, that they're getting their medications. We do blood pressure screenings. We do Narcan training. We do everything that we can do to make sure that you have the tools that you need to have better outcomes in life. And it's all about educating your community, service to humanity.
No, I love that. And like really being able to live in the embodiment of that, of the organization. And then other like nurses that are coming up being able to see you and everything that you have done within your leadership journey in your career. Um, so I think that's like really important. And like you just showing up every day, like showing up every day and just like being that leader in your
Trying my
field
best.
and in your organizations.
Trying my best.
And
Definitely.
you're
Trying to keep all
doing
the balls in the air. Trust
yeah,
me.
and it's hard. It's hard because like it's like okay, this meeting and that meeting and
Uh-huh. Exactly.
like oh my gosh, like am I gonna miss something? But then it's like at the end of the day, you never know who's watching you
That's
and
true.
wanting to follow suit in that. Um,
True.
so I think that's like the beauty of you. been gifted every single opportunity and seizing that and doing the great work within the community.
I'm
Um,
definitely trying. Definitely trying.
so then I also want to touch on too how you are a charter member of a few organizations, and that means you are a history maker.
Yeah.
If whoever is listening, if you guys don't know the process for chartering any organization, it does vary depending which one it is, but
Mhm.
it is strenuous and it is
Very
tough.
much so.
And it is a lot of work when you're trying to gather however X many amount of women to get this thing up and running.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to touch on how you have chartered a few organizations,
Hmm.
especially this year.
Yes. Yes.
You had the ball rolling. So
Girl.
one of them
Yeah.
was the Southern Newcastle County, Delaware chapter of the National Council of Negro Women.
Yes.
Also, the
I was
Newcastle,
actually asked to be a part of that. So I was very honored. Yes.
and I think that's the beauty of it too. And then that's also what we touched on earlier, friendship. So
Hmm.
I
Absolutely.
understand that this is something beautiful.
Connections and networking. Hmm.
Um, and then also too, chartering the Newcastle County, Delaware chapter of the Top Ladies of Distinction.
Hmm.
And then also being a charter member of the Crown Sisters of the Light, Chapter 2, Order of the Eastern Star, where you
Hmm.
now are also serving as a newly elected worthy matron. So
Oh,
another top leadership role on top
girl.
of chartering. The
I
people
know.
said, the people said, we see you and you are elected.
Oh, girl, look. So it's so funny because I just actually, as they say, got my crown on Sunday, on last this past Saturday. So I am officially in that role, and we charted in May, and I am already the president, and it is
Yeah.
December. So I don't know how that happened. I'm worthy matron, and here it is, and I'm just gonna do the best that I can. But I I am honored that they would feel that I could lead this chapter the best way that I can. It's kind of like, wow, I didn't expect, I kind of thought I was going to come in, help charter, grow, and then maybe a few years down the line become the president. And no, that wasn't the way it is. And you know what? It's kind of like leadership. Sometimes leadership falls in your lap and you just have to do what you need to do. So this is here I am.
They said, no, not in a few years. We need you right
Nope.
now.
They said you ain't getting no time off. Let's
No,
go. Let's
no,
go.
that's really what they said.
That's what they said. Let's go. Come on.
It's your time. We need you to shine and bring us to where we need to go.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm gonna try. I'm definitely gonna try. Definitely.
No, I think that's the beauty with it. And to like touch on too, like um chartering. So how do you feel like with all three of these organizations,
Mhm.
um, that has like benefited your journey up until this point? And how do you feel like about like being a charter member, like being a part of history? Because you're always going to like when they look at that charter list, there's your name, you
There's
know,
my name.
and when you bring in new members for any organization, your name will go in the book, but
Mhm.
being a charter member of a chapter is
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
And it holds a lot of weight within history. So how do you feel like about that? And not just like one, two, but three.
I am honored, honestly. I'm honored that I was even thought of to be able to someone reach out to me and say, hey, we have these organizations that we want to get established here, and we would love for you to be a part of it. And I'm like, really? Me? So just the fact, like you said, you never know who's watching you. And to be a charter member to three organizations that I hold very dear to my heart, and that all have the foundation of service and giving back and advocacy and also the betterment of Black women and Brown women. It's just it's so surreal, and it's very honoring, and it's very humbling because they didn't have to think about me. They didn't have to think about me to be one of the members. And so I hope that what I do in the community allowed them to see that, what, I think she may be a good fit for us. And it's just I never thought I would be a charter member of anything. Actually, I was a members, but I never thought I would be a charter member. So to be able to know that my name is down on three organizations that are all about service and giving back and uplifting the community and making sure that the needs of the community are met is very humbling, and I'm very proud of that. I'm extremely proud of that. And I'm actually, even though I joke about it, I'm very proud to be the worthy matron of Crown Sisters of Light, because that chapter, we worked to get that chapter chartered in May, and it's like my baby. So, now here I am, the president or the worthy matron of the chapter. So now I get to help grow it and help educate and lead and learn, and it has a spiritual basis to it. So that also is near and dear to me, because I grew up in a church. My mother was very spiritual. She had me in church almost every Sunday and every Wednesday and every Saturday, and so it just allows me to strengthen my spiritual foundation. And so, even though I love all three, and I'm so proud to be a part of all three and to be a part of history of all three, Crown Sisters has a little bit more of a place in my heart, just because of the spiritual aspect of it. And it allows me to really get back into my roots and allows me to, you know, I guess, strengthen my spiritual foundation where I was before when I was younger. And you kind of move and you do different things and you kind of move away from what you used to do when you were younger. And again, I keep saying this, it's kind of like a full circle mode for me. So I'm very proud. I'm proud. I say all that to say I am so proud to be a charter member of three organizations. Definitely.
No, and
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful, beautiful, and also too very unheard of.
Yeah.
Like I can say, being able to, charter one. I've seen a lot of people charter one, but to charter three, and you're
Yeah.
doing it back to back to back,
Girl.
which means she was busy doing community service, getting the work done, hitting the requirements, and showing
Going to school,
up.
getting my degree. Yes.
Right. And showing up in the midst of that
Mm.
every day or whenever to be called upon to handle something to make sure to see the chartering through um, was really important. And like I can even say like I seen pictures for the National Council of Negro Women when you guys got chartered. And that was a lot of women that helped to see that.
110 women. 110 women, girl. Okay.
And when I seen, I said,
You
"Wow,
say
that is
our
the
president, Tasha Butler, I give her a lot of credit, because that was a undertaking of itself. And it was, unfortunately, that day I was not there to go through the ceremony because I was sick. But it, just to see 110 women come together to charter a chapter, and for it to mean so much to each one of us, is just amazing in itself.
no." And I think that's the beautiful part too. 110 woman, and it's not easy to gather people and us as women and want and say, hey, we're going to do this, and everybody has different schedules, but making
Yep.
time to do the work and to see it through, I think is what's so beautiful. And it was really a beautiful sight to see, and
Oh, thank you.
it was like especially in history, seeing so many like beautiful Black women coming together and seeing
Mhm.
this through.
And all different industries, all different, just everything. Like, you had teachers, lawyers, nurses, all kinds of stuff. So we were all represented very well.
And I think like that's the beauty within itself too. And then like also you being a charter member of the Top Ladies of Distinction. Um,
Mhm.
so I guess what kind of was your like driving force into joining that organization and then also like being a part of chartering a chapter?
So for Top Ladies, it was, again, someone reached out to me and asked me would I want to join, because they know I do a lot of community service, a lot of volunteerism. And for Top Ladies, I loved it because you can be a member of Top Ladies and you don't have to have a degree.
Mm.
And so I love that about it. And that's one thing in Zeta. We have something called the Amici, and those are the ladies that don't have a degree, but they want to serve their community. So they are one of our auxiliaries that we have. And these ladies, they may not have a degree, they may be working toward a degree. They can't become a Zeta unless you have a degree, at least a graduate degree. Well, not graduate degree, undergraduate degree. So to be able to charter Top Ladies of Distinction, I knew so many women that were members of Top Ladies of Distinction in other states. and they didn't have degrees, and they were out there, serving and giving back to the community and all that. So I love that about it. So that was one thing that drew me to it. And also, Order of the Eastern Star is the same way. You don't have to have a degree to be a member. So those two, I kind of feel like really, really allow the community to give back and serve because life happens and it might be a reason why you didn't get a degree or you didn't finish getting a degree, but you still want to serve. You still want to get out there and give back to your community. So this allows you to be able to be a part of something, and that's what attracted me to those two organizations.
And I think that's the beauty too, like, because not like you said, not everybody was able to get their degree or finish, or they might
Right.
take a break, but they still want to be able to be a part of a sisterhood and do
Yes.
that work within the
Mhm.
community and be a part of service.
Absolutely.
Um, and I think all women deserve to be able to have that, um, connection with other women and do the work and, smile while we're doing what we're doing and helping
Yep.
folks that need the help.
And
Um,
actually being able to fall on someone and be able to know that my sister has my back. We may not all get along all the time, but we have each other's back no matter what. And if you call me and you need something, I'm there. So that's what I love about being a part of these organizations.
And I think like that's the beauty of it too. And then also like your portfolio being so diverse.
Hmm.
And you said, I'm not gonna stop here. And every time someone calls you, you answer that call and you said, you know what? Yes, I'm gonna do it. And
I'm still trying to, I'm telling you, I'm still trying to figure out who this girl is. I don't know who she is.
I know who she is, and she is amazing. She is, and she is in the field doing the work every single day, showing up. And
Yeah, I'm trying, girl. I'm
yeah.
trying.
And I
Definitely.
think it's like just so beautiful. And because I think it's hard sometimes for folks too, like when someone calls you, right? And they're like, hey, I think this would be like perfect for you. And you already have 10 million things going on.
Mhm.
But I'm like, wait, no, this is for you. And
Mhm.
you answer that call and you say yes. And then when you see it through to the end, it's
It's
like,
great.
wow, this person brought me in.
Hmm.
And I didn't even know originally what I was getting myself into.
Right. Right.
They
Exactly.
seen that within me, and I'm grateful that I said yes, and I did all the requirements to see it through to the end, because
Hmm.
here's that beautiful finished product.
Yep. I love it.
And
I
you've
love it.
seen
When
it.
we have our meetings, I love it. I love it.
You've seen it through, and I think that's so beautiful, especially with like I can't get enough. I'm like, she chartered three back to back. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like it's just like how? But
I
it's just like
know.
it's so beautiful. Like, and I think like because like I went to school for project management, organizational leadership. So like
Okay. Okay.
like with business and what it takes to make it happen. And like that right there, that is like three different jobs on top of everything else that you're doing. Um, so I'm just like, it is just beautiful to like to see that. I'm like, she is doing the work and all of everything she's doing.
I'm trying
And
my best, definitely,
then
definitely.
on
But I
top
didn't
of
do it
that,
by myself. I had a lot of help. Trust me, a lot of help. We all did it together. But it was they called, and I was like, okay. For me, I guess it's just I love giving back. And I tell everybody, I was a single mom, so I my teenage years was, taking care of my kids, which I don't regret, at all. But now that I'm, 55 and I'm able to get out here and my kids are grown, I have a 37-year-old, a 34-year-old, and a 31-year-old. So my kids are grown. So now I get to go out and do and give back and I think now I'm doing the things that I wanted to do when I was a teen, or when I was a young adult that I didn't get a chance to do because I was raising my kids and going to school. So now I'm older and I'm like, okay, I'm established, I'm pretty much settled, so now I can go out and volunteer and give back, which volunteering is what I love to do. I love giving back, even to the detriment of my own self sometimes because I'm exhausted and tired and trying to find out when I'm going to be able to do one more little thing. And then somehow, some way, God gives me a little bit more, strength and courage to keep moving. So yeah,
no, I think that's like the beauty of it. And then like I said, like how I'm viewing it is like every time someone calls you, you answer that call and
I
you
try.
say,
I
yes,
do
you
try.
know what, I'm gonna see it through. And
Hmm.
You answered that call 3 times to charter.
Oh, yeah, I
And
did. I
you
did.
did. You said, I am here and I am active and I am in it. And
Yes,
I love
I'm
it.
here. I'm
Yeah.
here.
But like also too, you've mentored countless students, nurses, and community members. So what advice do you offer women, especially young Black women, pursuing careers in nursing and healthcare?
Um, Definitely take advantage of all the programs they have out there. There's a lot of scholarships. There's a lot of educational opportunities out there. I tell a lot of nurses, students, you folk, I'd use myself as an example. I tell them all the time, I didn't start off as an RN. I went to school, I was a nurse's aide. Then I went back to school and got my LPN, which was paid for. I was in a position where, I was on public assistance. So because I had 3 small kids and I was unmarried. So they paid for my LPN. I was able to work at a company that offered tuition reimbursement. So I was able to get my RN paid for and almost all my bachelor's and majority of my master's. So I try to tell students, make sure you don't have to jump into a 4-year program right away.
Mm.
If you feel like, what, let me just start off and see whether or not nursing and healthcare is for me because it's not for everybody. Become a patient care tech or a nurse's aide or LPN, and then go from there. And then situate yourself where if you can get into companies that offer tuition reimbursement, it takes the load off of you when you want to be able to go back to school and get your education and further your education. Nursing and healthcare itself is not for everyone. I tell them all the time, make sure that you're compassionate. Make sure you want to do this. There's going to be some days where you're going to feel like, I don't know why I did this. Try to remember your why it is that you wanted to become a nurse, why it is you wanted to get in healthcare. Because all days are not going to be easy. There's going to be some days where you're going to walk out of there and say, why did I do this? And those are the days where you're going to have to really remember your why. So I just tell especially younger students, ones that look like us. It's important that we continue to move and grow and educate ourselves, especially for future generations. Because if they can see it, then they can be it. Representation is important. I can't stress that enough. Just keep going and find out where your niche is. Some nurses, they come out of school and they want to go right into peds or maternity or ICU. Find out where your niche is, find out if that is where you need to be. And then if you find something that you really love, then it won't feel like work. And you'll feel like, okay, this is where I need to be. I feel like I'm giving back. I feel like I'm educating, advocating for, my patients, and I actually like where I'm working at. Because sometimes any job, you can get there and be like, oh, I don't really like this, or this isn't what I really like, or what I want to do. It feels like work every single day. I hate getting up, and just trying to find your specialty and your niche is very important.
No, I agree. And I think like also you like taking upon yourself to be a mentor
Hmm.
back in that capacity to younger women is really important. Um,
Absolutely.
and just making the time for that within everything else you're doing
Mm.
is so important. And I also think too, like, so how have you balanced being a nurse, an educator, a leader, community advocate, and a mentor, and what keeps you grounded?
What keeps me grounded is my why, knowing that I got into this because I wanted to help people. And everything that I'm involved in, everything that I've done in my 32 years of being a nurse and being in these organizations and stuff, all leads back to my why, and that's helping others. That is my why. I love helping others. I love giving back to people. I love being able to make a difference in someone's life. It's it's different when you are there at their lowest point, when you're a nurse and you've seen them at their worst, and then to see them get better. And it's nothing like having a patient come back and visit you and they're like, okay, you were there for me. You were there when I was at my lowest. And just to be able to hear someone say thank you. And that's why I do what I do. So, like I said, nursing is not a job for me. It's not a career for me. It's a calling. I always give back. I always help because I feel like that's what I was put on this earth to do. So that's what keeps me grounded. Every time I get tired, every time I feel like, oh, I can't do this anymore, then something will happen and it'll make me remember why I started from the beginning. So that's why I love what I do. I do.
No, I love that. And like your why of from the beginning and like living in that, like,
Hmm.
you know,
Trying to.
being
Yep.
grounded and from when you started. Um, I think is really important, especially when like days get hard and
Mm-hmm.
you're juggling so many different tasks,
Mm-hmm.
like standing in that why. Um, so also too, like what legacy do you hope to leave in nursing, education, and community leadership?
Just my legacy, I want it to be that I cared about people and that if I was involved, I gave my 100%. Um, I won't do something unless I can give my 100%. Even when I have to juggle, even when I'm tired, I don't like to give my word and then not follow through. Or I don't want to say that, okay, I can do this, and then something happens and I can't. I've gotten better as I've gotten older to kind of like judge and feel out what I can handle and what I can't handle. So I want my legacy to be that, Trina was there. If I called her, if I needed her, she was there for me. And if she couldn't help me, she made sure she could figure out a way or get me to the person or to the thing or to whatever it is that would be able to help me. So I'm always that person that I try to make sure I'm very dependable. Um, I try to make sure that if I give you my word, I'm going to stick to it. And if I can't, I'm going to let you know why. And then try to find my workaround or try to help you in some kind of way. So I just want my legacy to be that you're like, okay, yep, that was that. Yep, Trina, she was out there doing the darn thing and she helped and she did what she could do and she gave back and that she was genuine and very transparent. So if anybody could say anything about me, I hope they always say I'm genuine, that I care, and that I'm a very transparent person. What you see is what you get.
And I love that, and I see that. I do.
Oh,
The
thank you.
work that you do. And like I said, I think like the biggest takeaway to me is that you show up every single day. Even when it's hard, because it's hard. It is hard, like having to also like show up for yourself, show up for your family, and then
Mhm.
also show up for the community and so many different organizations that you're part of that have so many different focuses. But you still show up and like you said, you give your 100%. Um, so also too, if you could redesign nursing education or healthcare systems, what core values would you center to support nurses and improve patient outcomes?
Definitely education. Definitely core values would be trying to educate and affirm and advocate. Just making sure that nurses have the resources that they need in order to help produce better patient outcomes. Evidence-based practice is so important. The research that we do is so important. The milestones that we have reached in technology and in healthcare itself is because of evidence-based practice. So if I could redesign, I would make sure that the nurses have every technological advancement that they need, that they have every access to education, making sure that they're properly trained, that they always have educational opportunities. I would love to make sure when nurses want to be able to go to conferences that they're able to, that it's paid for and they don't have to worry about travel and hotels and how much the registration costs for the conference and all. I would love to be able to have something that would be able to fund the nurses to be able to do their continuing education. That's one thing I would love to be able to see in healthcare. I would love for more companies to be able to pour into their staff and make sure they're getting the education that they need to stay abreast. I feel like I work at Christiana, so of course I'm going to say I feel like Christiana does a great job. But there are other organizations that I feel like could better support their nurses and their nursing students and people who want to go back to school, having more tuition reimbursement. We do get some now, but the cost of education is so high, and all the grants and the funding that we once had is not there anymore. The educational system isn't, it does not support the way it used to. We can see the changes that are happening right now. And so to be able to have a foundation or a fundamental place that we could pull from to make sure that people that want to go to school can, and that they want to continue their education can, is so important. And just trying to make sure that we have avenues for people that want to go into the health field, whether it's nursing, whether it's X-ray tech or ultrasound tech or MRI tech or a doctor or phlebotomy or whatever you want to do. Anything you want to do in the medical field, just being able to have that leeway and that bridge for you to be able to get in there, and it's not detrimental to you where you're having thousands and thousands of dollars of student loans and taking years to have to pay it back. And I just wish that we had a better system that we will be able to educate our people and educate our young and people who will come behind us, so that way it's not such a taxing thing on them to get their education. I don't want it to be a deterrent that you want to get your education, but you're going to walk out with $50,000 of student loans, and here you are with this payment that you've got to try to manage along with everything else you have going on with your life. I just feel like education should be affordable for anyone who wants it.
And it should be. And I like how you touched on like having a fund too is really important and critical. And folks always like also too like seeking out for scholarships is really
Absolutely.
important to support you on your journey,
Mhm.
especially within healthcare, because we need
Yeah.
more folks in healthcare and we need more nurses. There's a shortage.
Mm,
There's just a shortage everywhere in healthcare
everywhere.
professionals. Um, so I think like it's important that we are pouring funds back into that so we can, see that profession grow. Um, and like, having a fund, like you said, for conferences
Hmm.
is important because it's expensive.
And it is expensive. It's so expensive.
So like being able to have that support to attend, I think is great. Especially for like upcoming emerging like leaders in their field, so that they can gain that experience. And I feel like it would be very, really empowering too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So like also too, how can listeners stay connected with your work or support the organizations and initiatives you lead?
So the best way to stay connected with me is LinkedIn. I am Trina Madison Turner on LinkedIn. So connect with me. Excuse me. And I have a lot of different connections that I already have through LinkedIn. And if they connect with me, I might be able to help them with resources, or they'll be able to see the different organizations that I'm a part of. And I just love growing and connecting on LinkedIn because you're able to connect with other people that you never know if that connection may be the one that you may need to advance or to be able to help someone. Because, I actually, it was a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine was looking for a job, and I knew of a company that was hiring. So I was able to connect her with the hiring manager, and she was able to get an interview, and looks like she's going to get a job. So I just love how LinkedIn connects everyone. So definitely look for me on LinkedIn. You can connect with me there, definitely.
Yes, and I love how you said LinkedIn. I am big on LinkedIn.
Oh, I am huge
I,
on LinkedIn. Absolutely.
that is my favorite app. It's
Yep.
so funny because well, that and Facebook.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it was so funny because somebody reached out to me the other day and we were talking and they were like, "Oh, you are just so famous on LinkedIn with your 16,000 followers." I said, "How do you know how many followers I have?" I didn't even know I had that many people, but I
Yes, girl, you do. You have
no,
that many people. Yes, you do.
because I love connecting with folks. I love seeing what people are doing everywhere.
I
Um,
do too.
and not just here within the USA, but globally.
Absolutely.
It's like I do a
Absolutely.
lot of volunteer work outside of like here,
Mhm.
globally. So I think like it's just great seeing what people are doing work in the Caribbean countries, and doing work in Africa or Japan. So like I said, guys, connect with her on LinkedIn. And to our younger audience, if you do not have a LinkedIn, definitely look into getting one as you're a young professional in college, and doing great work and putting all your projects on there and the work that you're doing so people could see that.
Mhm.
Um, so I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Turner, for your extraordinary leadership, your unwavering commitment to service, and your powerful presence as a mentor and a pillar within the nursing profession. To me, your journey reminds us that nursing is not just a career. It's a calling. It's rooted in compassion, excellence, and purpose. And to our listeners, If today's conversation had moved you, visit angelsprotection.org to explore our programs supporting young women and mothers through our mental health support, education, and community empowerment. And always as a reminder, her voice matters, her leadership matters, her story matters. So let's keep breaking the silence together.